Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
Good morning. My name is Melanie Wine, and I'm the Executive Director of the Initiative for Software Choice, which is a global coalition of 300 large and small companies. And we, too, oppose this bill as we do believe that this creates a preference for a particular document format and actually limits choice rather than expanding choice. And again, I would just point up, I don't want to repeat what some of the other witnesses have stated, but that there's no need for this bill today, because if public agencies, if the CIO in the state of California determines that a particular document format like ODF is the appropriate technology to use, there's nothing that prevents them from using that technology today. And we see this bill as actually creating a preference or even a mandate for that technology. We think that limits the choices in the marketplace, and that will end up limiting innovation in the state of California. So once again, it's difficult to speak to the amendments that have been offered because we haven't actually seen them and have just heard about them here as we came here today. So the ISC opposes Bill 1668.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses in opposition? Seeing none? Yes, Member Sellers.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. The witnesses that testified, I don't know when it's proper to ask the questions, whether it's when the witness is presenting, when the question is fresh in mind, when you're giving the testimony, because each of you brought up some points that raised questions in my mind that I need answers to, and so I hope that you can answer that. And I'm not fast enough to write your names as you're testifying, but I'd like
Jonathan.
you to expand on something that you said that maybe I misunderstood, but I need further clarification. And you testified that this bill would hamper Microsoft, your organization, from becoming more open. So the question to me is, do your applications have the ability to be open files, and what's preventing your applications to be open rather than other systems that others have presented, like Microsoft or other companies?
Congressman Says, my name is Jonathan Zook, and I don't represent Microsoft, so let me clarify my point and then maybe hand it over to the Microsoft representative to talk about their individual products. What I was speaking to was a somewhat disingenuous situation in which some are testifying about the need for more openness, but that are in fact out in the marketplace trying to prevent standards bodies from taking on new formats and making new formats open. That's really the issue I was speaking to. Microsoft is in the middle of an effort right now to take their formats to ISO and to make those formats more widely available and more open and managed by an industry body. And the same companies that come to advocate this type of legislation are at the same time trying to prevent those efforts from taking place out in the marketplace. And so I was simply remarking on the situation that we find ourselves in, that it seems like a simple decision to simply say, oh, wouldn't it be great if everything was open? But there's a dynamic taking place in the marketplace that is a little darker than that, and I was simply just drawing attention to that.
And that still didn't answer my question. I mean, it still doesn't.
We're right, and I think Microsoft should probably answer the question about their own products.
I can answer that question. The document format that's the default document format in Office 2007 is called OpenXML, and it's a standard that's been adopted by ECMA, which is the European Computer Manufacturers Association. It is an open standard that's available to anyone in the world for implementation and use under any circumstances. It's now, as Jonathan was saying, going through the ISO standardization process in Geneva. There are literally billions of documents that currently exist in the binary formats that the previous versions of Microsoft Office used, the .doc, and so on, the formats. We have provided technologies to the community free for download that would convert in a batch way all of those formats to OpenXML technologies. And there are efforts underway now to create conversion technologies between ODF and OpenXML. The fact here is that the market is responding to the needs of customers. Customers want to be able to use multiple formats, and so conversion technologies are being created to enable conversion from one format to another. The market's responding. There is no need to mandate through legislation particular formats over others when we're already seeing the dynamic in the marketplace taking place in a very positive way, and the government can make use of any formats that it wants.
So you're saying that Microsoft currently now is moving to open files?
Microsoft, the OpenXML format adopted by ECMA is an open format under many under any sort of normal definition of the term. I'm not sure how it meets the definition that's in the current version of the bill. This is an incredibly complex area. The terms in the bill are unclear, and we don't know how it would be applied, in fact, to other formats that are out there. We think that it's really focused on and ensuring that ODF is adopted to the advantage of all the commercial interests that are behind it, rather than really creating a forum and an environment in which there can be use of any formats that make sense for users.
Members, if I may just